As a reminder that Tory Lanez is not innocent. There is no freeing Tory Lanez because of this secret bombshell evidence that they keep being like, we're about to drop it. And then it's, again, where? Okay, so overwhelming evidence of Mr. Peterson's guilt. On July 12th, 2020, just hours after violently shooting Megan Pete, aka Megan the Stallion. And yes, Sam texted me that on our recent episode of Let Me Know, apparently I said Megan the Trainer. Because we were talking about both Megan Trainer and Meg the Stallion. And remember, I am brain dead. So yes, I apparently did say Megan the Trainer and didn't even realize it. That's how it goes. All right. Daystar Peterson, aka Tory Lanez, called Kelsey Harris from jail and admitted to shooting Pete. So Kelsey Harris is who people are now trying to claim is actually the one who shot Meg. So before they were like, no one shot Meg. She's lying. And now they're saying actually it was Kelsey Harris who shot Meg. The following text is from the recorded jail cell. I know she, referring to Megan, probably never ever gonna talk to me ever again, Lane said. But I just want you to know, bruh, I was just so fucking drunk. I ain't even know what the fuck was going on, bruh. Like, dead ass. I'd never do some shit like that. I was just so fucking drunk. I just didn't understand what the fuck was going on, bruh. Regardless, it's not gonna make anything right, and that's not going to make my actions right. Later that evening, on July 12th, 2020, Peterson texted Pete, that's again Meg the Stallion, apologizing for shooting her. He wrote, Meg, I know you're probably never going to talk to me again, but I genuinely want you to know I'm sorry from the bottom of my heart, and I was just too drunk. Nonetheless, shit should never have happened and can't change what did. I just feel horrible. And remember, Meg is not the one who brought charges against Tory. It was the state of California. So this whole Meg went on a witch hunt against Tory Lanez. Remember that this was the state of California. And for a while, Meg did not say anything because she was protecting Tory Lanez. Okay, Harris repeatedly confirmed that Peterson shot Pete. Minutes after the shooting, Harris texted Pete's security guard, help, Tory shot Meg and handled me, 911. On September 14th, 2022, Harris, in the presence of her attorney and husband, participated in a recorded interview with prosecutors and an investigator. Harris admitted to prosecutors that she witnessed Peterson shooting the gun, definitely in Miss Pete's direction. Harris confirmed that Peterson offered her and Pete $1 million to stay silent. Peterson attempted to bribe Pete and Harris immediately after the shooting. Peterson begged Pete and Harris to keep quiet, offering each a bribe of $1 million. Here is Megan's testimony at trial. Question, so what is Tory saying to you? Answer, I don't remember anything he was saying to me in that moment, but when we got into the car and we heard the police sirens, now he's saying, please don't say anything. I'll give y'all $1 million. I can't go to jail. I already got caught with a gun before. Don't tell on me. Did he offer $1 million so that you wouldn't say anything about this case? He mentioned the $1 million. This was Harris's testimony. Okay, Meg speaks out. Pete told police that she stepped on glass because she wanted to de-escalate the situation and prevent the police from using force against Peterson. Because Meg, as a black woman, is well aware of how the criminal justice system treats black people. So initially, she wanted to protect Tory because of her overarching fears of how the police and the criminal justice system at large treat black people in this country. All right. Pete's testimony at trial. The police started asking questions. And did you tell them you were shot? No. What did you tell them? That I stepped on glass. Why did you say that? At the time, we were at the height of police brutality and the situation with George Floyd. And I felt like if I said that this man just shot me, and I know they came because they had to have heard gunshots. I don't know if they're going to shoot first and ask questions later. I don't want to see anybody die. I don't want to die. I didn't feel safe. I don't feel safe in the car. I know I just got shot, but I don't feel safe with the police officers either. Idiots are still trying to use the glass story because they think a doctor can't tell the difference between glass and lead. I know. All right. Tory's lies compelled Meg to speak out. Meg realized she could no longer remain silent when Peterson began to spread lies about the shooting. She publicly announced that her injuries were from gunshots fired by Peterson. Remember that when she posted this? Yeah, she posted this on Instagram. During trial, Pete testified under oath that Peterson shot her. Did you see Tory firing the shots? Did you see him holding the gun? I saw him holding the gun. And when did you hear the shots? Immediately after he said, "Dance, bitch." And did you actually see him fire the shots as well? He had the gun in his hand. He told me to dance, bitch. And then I heard the shots. The evolution of Peterson's lies. His story has evolved over the years. First, he said that Meg was never shot, but stepped on broken glass. And then at the trial, his lawyers argued that actually Harris, not Tory, was the shooter. And then the third lie, Peterson claimed the LAPD lost or misplaced the firearm and bullet fragments. So the story kept on changing. Dr. Lee Haruno of Cedars-Sinai Orthopedic Surgery Department testified that surgery was necessary to remove bullet fragments from Miss Pete's foot. She literally had bullet fragments in her foot, and a medical professional testified that surgery was required to remove said bullet fragments. Okay. Second lie is that Harris shot Pete. At trial, Peterson's counsel argued that Harris, not Peterson, was the shooter. And this is what they're trying to say again. This is what they're trying to bring back up and claim that they have bombshell testimony, evidence, etc. On September 25th, 2020, Peterson admitted himself publicly that Harris did not shoot Pete. Somebody wrote on Instagram, people saying Kelsey shot her, and Tory Lanez wrote, "That's not true." Harris's DNA was not on the gun. DNA evidence shows that DNA from the gun came from a man, not a woman. Peterson's DNA could not be excluded from the gun. He had his own DNA expert testify at trial. Both prosecution and defense DNA experts reached the same conclusion that Peterson could neither be included nor excluded as a contributor to the DNA found on the weapon. A semi-automatic firearm was recovered directly under Peterson's seat. The weapon was still warm to touch and in slide lock position. All rounds had been fired. Spent cartridge cases from the scene matched to this handgun. Gunshot residue was detected on Peterson's hands. Okay, so here's the testimony. A gun found under Peterson's seat, right where the defendant was sitting, right where he was sitting, still warm. There was not a single piece of evidence from anybody in this trial to suggest that Kelsey was ever in the front seat of that car, ever at any point. Why is the gun there if Kelsey's the shooter? It's right at the defendant's feet, right where you would expect it to be because he's the one that did the shooting. Okay, third lie, the LAPD lost or misplaced the gun and bullet fragments. The truth is that the firearm magazine, bullet casings, and bullet fragments remain in the LAPD custody. So that was just straight up a lie. Unsworn rumors being spread as fact. Bradley James, allegedly a former bodyguard of Harris, claims overhearing Harris admit to shooting the firearm. But James was not an eyewitness to the shooting. He was not present at the scene of the crime. James has never provided sworn testimony or been subject to cross-examination. James has not publicly addressed these claims himself. Peterson's team merely alleges what James said. Despite being cited as a key source, James failed to appear at the press conference to support these allegations. So here's the thing, okay? I am sure that the bombshell testimony / evidence that has been teased out, that supposedly it was going to drop, we have no idea where it is, this invisible, mysterious evidence, I am sure it is this, which was brought up at the trial and was dismissed. Sworn testimony supports Pete, aka Meg Thee Stallion. Okay, Noir King, who is a former content moderator for blogger Milagro Cooper, testified under oath that Peterson admitted to Cooper that Pete was shot when a gun went off during a struggle. Peterson publicly claimed that Pete merely stepped on glass, directly contradicting his own private admission, a fabrication that was subsequently amplified by his social media surrogates, including Cooper. Peterson declined to call Jaquan Smith, his bodyguard and driver, as a witness, although Smith was available and present at court. Smith spoke to the judge in chambers. Smith's declaration came only after trial. Smith has never been subject to cross-examination. Right. So Tory chose not to call a key witness at trial. Independent witness testified that he saw the short guy shot the girl, who then fell onto the middle of the road and was bleeding. Confirmed shooter, quote, had his arms outstretched, fired 4 or 5 shots, and had something in his hand with the noise and the flashes. This is Sean Kelly, who is an independent witness at trial. Not the short guy shot the short guy. Oh my God. The short guy shot the girl. Okay, all right. Peterson's team has recently claimed that they have obtained ring footage that supposedly exonerates Peterson. Not so. Ring audio is not new. It was admitted into evidence at trial as trial exhibit number 12 and was considered by the jury. I feel like they are just trying to count on people not actually having followed the trial and going, we have all this evidence. Well, guess what? This was evidence that was introduced at trial and it was fucking dismissed. Okay. It did not exonerate Tory. So I'm sure that this is just the same evidence that they've had, and they're trying to act as if it's new bombshell evidence that's going to exonerate him, when in fact it will not. What's wild is he obviously immediately felt remorse or regret, and whether or not that was out of fear. If society wasn't so misogynistic, it might have ended just between them, since Meg didn't want to press charges originally, but because he and his team considered his reputation and career ahead of Meg's well-being, they decided to wield public misogyny to further harm her. Yes, this is also like in the situation between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. Blake Lively, as a reminder, did not file a lawsuit because of her allegations of sexual harassment and inappropriate behavior on set. The reason that a lawsuit was filed was because of the smear campaign that the suit alleges was conducted by Justin Baldoni, Jamie Heath, and the very fancy PR team that was employed to try and get ahead of Justin Baldoni's fears that there was a possibility that this could get out, that the HR meeting that happened could be leaked, that he would look bad, that people would put 2 and 2 together as to why the cast was not doing PR with Justin. And so in order to get ahead of it, they did what they did. But you're right, is that had Tory and his team not slandered Meg online, not tried to control the narrative so that they came out on top, then it is quite possible, it is very possible that he never would have ended up in prison. Peterson could have testified but did not. Yeah, you want the link to the PowerPoint? Here you go. Peterson had the opportunity to testify at trial and tell his side of the story. He did not. So here are unsworn rumors versus sworn testimony. Unsworn rumors: Daystar Peterson, Milagro Cooper, Bradley James, inconsistent with evidence, never testified, did not swear under penalty of perjury to tell truth. Sworn testimony was from Megan Pete, Dr. Lee Haruno, Detective Jody Little, Randy Zapita, an LAPD criminalist, Srinivasan Rothanam, an LAFD firearms examiner, and Amiel Holland Briggs, consistent with evidence, has testified, has sworn under penalty of perjury to tell the truth. So, make no mistake that those who are continuing to support Tory Lanez, who are continuing to harass Meg, call her a liar, a gold digger, etc., are doing so from a place of misogynoir. Okay? That's what this is. Someone like Anna Paulina Luna getting involved here, she is doing that because she is, one, a person who has no problem painting black women as the enemy, and two, because of the continued Republican outreach to black men. So more black men shifted and voted for Trump than did black women. Black women are one of the most consistent backbones of the Democratic Party. So absolutely there's political reason here for someone like Anna Paulina Luna to come out in support of Tory Lanez and call upon him to be pardoned. And she said his 10-year sentence was based on flawed evidence, political pressure, and prosecutorial bias. And girlies, please take seriously if people near you defend Tory while he's in prison. The people defending him are close and often partners, friends, etc. Yeah, again, just look at who's supporting him. Okay, Chris Brown. Oh, what a stand-up guy. Drake, a real winner. Kanye West, what an angel.